Wow, this is absolutely huge.
I've come to Ireland in search of sea lampreys. Blood-sucking parasitic fish that can grow over 1 metre in length and have a fearsome reputation. They are probably the only fish to have ever killed a king and have mouths lined with rows of circular teeth that strike fear into the hearts of a passing swimmer. Lampreys are notoriously difficult to find, so I teamed up with Will, conservationist, fish expert and Ireland's #1 lamprey fan.
So Will, I'm dying to ask, what's your favourite thing about the lamprey?
Lampreys, evolved from before the dinosaurs, and they've changed very little in the last 300 or 400 million years. They're a really unique creature to have in our rivers.
And when looking for activity, what are you looking for?
You can see most of this area across here has actually been created by sea lampreys spawning. The lampreys have been picking stones up to 5-6 metres in front and dragging them back and placing them up to build up this bank. When they spawn, it'll catch the fertilised eggs. They'll infiltrate in between the rocks and the gravels here. The Latin scientific name, Petromyzon, is stone liquor as far as I know.
There you go.
During recent visits to this site, Will has filmed some unexpected and revealing lamprey behaviour. In this clip, 2 lampreys, a male and a female, cooperate to lift large rocks and create their nesting bank. While here, we can see 2 males locked in aggressive combat. However, today we came up empty-handed.
What has happened here today is there's been a lot of rain. Now that kind of change overnight in water levels has disturbed the lampreys, and right now there doesn't seem to be any activity at this site.
Right, well, can't control rainfall, can you?
No.
Especially not in Ireland.
Yeah.
Leaving the fast-flowing river behind, we travel downstream to a calmer section of water where, armed with Will's electro-fishing contraption, we try to find some lampreys in the earlier stages of their life cycle.
A lot of aquatic species are very sensitive to electroreception. They're very electroreceptive, and a lot of them rely on it to navigate through their environments. Do you think we've got we've got 1 or 2? Oh, brilliant! So, in a matter of minutes, we've got 6 juvenile lampreys. Tell me a little bit about their life cycle. I mean, how old will these ones be? How long will they be here? How do they get here?
The little larvae, when they hatch out, they're just a few millimetres long. They'll drift downstream and they'll end up in these kind of depositing areas at the side of the river. They live in tunnels out of the way. Most people would never even know that they're there. They're non-parasitic, they're filter feeders, they're blind. Then after about 4 or 5 years, they'll undergo a metamorphosis.
As the juvenile lamprey undergo metamorphosis into their adult form, they develop eyes and their distinctive mouths and migrate out to sea. There they will live and grow for a few years more, feeding off the blood of other fish. Once it's time for them to spawn, they detect pheromones that young larvae release into the river and follow these back upstream. Unlike salmon, which spawn in the same area they hatched, a lamprey born here in Ireland may travel to a river as far as Portugal or possibly even across the North Atlantic to spawn.
We're very lucky here. We've also got a European eel and huge differences between lampreys and eels. Tell me a little bit about this beauty.
Yeah, well, the poor eel, he's critically endangered as well. Superficially, they're visually similar, but, when you get down to it, they're dramatically different.
Completely different, despite common belief. And to see the real difference between eels and lampreys, we're going to have to take a closer look. So to see how different lampreys and eels really are, I've come to the National University of Ireland in Galway, and in front of me I have a lamprey and an eel. Now, while they may look very similar both in size and shape, I'm probably more closely related to this eel than that eel is with the lamprey. These fish are separated by around 300 million years of evolution, and fossils suggest that the lamprey remain largely unchanged since before dinosaurs roamed the earth. If you look at the eel has a distinctive jaw, which you can find in most fish, whereas in the lamprey, they don't actually have a jaw at all. Instead, they have this oral disc of fearsome teeth. Now, when they're moving through the water to find their prey, they're sensing prey using these small conical structures known as papilla. And these papillae are used to sense where's best to attach onto their prey for the fastest access to their bloodstream. They grip on using these circular teeth, and this is where it gets really gruesome. Once the lamprey is attached onto their prey, they protrude this barbed tongue which bores a hole into the side of their prey from which they can then suck their blood.
With heavy rainfall raising the water levels and disturbing their typical spawning sites, the lampreys will often seek shelter in calmer waters. And after searching far and wide, our luck was about to change.
Wow, that is a sea lamprey. It's absolutely huge.
He's nearly a metre long, he's quite a nice one, you know. He wasn't spawning at the moment, he was just hanging around at the edge. So, you know, we haven't disturbed a lamprey spawning, you know.
So there's its infamous mouth parts.
Yeah. If you look at their eyes and, you know, don't focus in on their teeth, they are kind of cute.
I have to agree with you.
So do you want to hold him?
Yes, I would.
You hold him there close to the head, as firmly as you need to, yeah.
He's not very heavy, but lovely kind of mottled appearance. Beautiful male. I think the general perception of sea lampreys is that they are these menacing, aggressive looking beasts. But when you get this close to a real life lamprey, I think you can appreciate them so much more. They are stunning.
Once released, our lamprey will soon begin his spawning process. But just a few weeks later, he will die, completing his life cycle where it began. In parts of the world, such as the Great Lakes in America, sea lampreys are a devastating invasive pest to the local fisheries. However, here in Ireland, they are a protected species and a vital part of the local ecosystem.
So, Will, obviously you're very passionate about protecting this incredible species. What do you think overall the public's perception of sea lampreys here is?
You know, people that have heard about them, they've heard about their kind of gruesome reputation and their monster mouths. But I think the attitudes are changing, and people are taking a more broader interest in nature conservation. Lampreys have been called ecosystem engineers because they're basically creating habitats for other species. The lampreys are helping maintain the spawning areas for salmon as well.
So it's a real coexistence between the two species and more.
Yeah, they're basically changing rivers and, you know, benefiting other species from their activities. Lampreys have been here for hundreds of millions of years. Salmon have evolved with lampreys being present. You know, we're talking about species that are, you know, they're in ecological balance with each other. Lampreys are no threat to adult salmon, and they bring far more benefits to salmon than you know, the odd bit of predation that goes on.
Soon those fearsome mouths will be loved and appreciated. So there we go, what an experience. And lampreys, what a magnificent species. They've got this huge, aggressive looking mouth, but actually, by coming here today and meeting Will, I've grown a real respect and a real appreciation for them. But what do you think? Friends or foes? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked today's video, make sure you click on subscribe and on the bell to get notified of when we next post our video. So we'll see you soon here on Earth Unplugged.